doing something that moved you forward. Something somebody said, something you did.
Right, do we want to go like debaucherous? Do we want to go mystical? Teenager?
You can blend the debauchery and the mysticism, because that's how you rise things up. That's what makes the eagles fly. The other thermals, those things that do.
It's true. So we grew up coming here, and we grew up coming with our parents, who became very, very involved in the Appalachian fiddle and banjo traditions, and in the contradance bands, and the leaf contradance world is considered one of the very best in the country. And so there's all kinds of memories, from like falling asleep in our dad's guitar case, because they would play for the contradances, and all you would hear is that. And that would be like the nest of falling asleep. And I started dancing before I could walk, so I was on the pack of my parents, and they would dance. So my memory of the movements of the dance is actually older than my memory of walking. And last night I held my nephew, who's 2.5 years old, in his first contradance, and we did all the movements. I kind of did a little buck dancing and a balance and swing, and at the very end of the dance he was watching everything, and then he just kind of put his arms around me and put his head down. And I was like, "You like this?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're into this." So the sensation, the actual sensation of being in the flow state of a collective ritual experience of folkloric dance is almost unheard of in our complicated country. It's not something that we can lean into for thousands of years, and being able to see hundreds and hundreds of people dancing in sync to traditional and live fiddle and banjo music is amazing. And I had a friend say once, when we brought her, she said, she's a poet from New York, an amazing ensemble called Climbing Poetry that came here for some years, and incredible spoken word artists and poets. And she said, "Oh, it's like sacred geometry in motion." So there's a memory.
I have another question.
Great.
How do you, now that you have moved from the sleeping in the guitar case
into the dance,
and here you are now in a leadership role.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you right now, bringing all of those experiences forward to this moment? How does it feel in all of your senses?
Well, I remember some years ago, Jennifer and I saying, she said, "I would like to talk with you about some of the festivals that you all are playing at," because Rising Appalachia was starting to get hired as a headliner for festivals all over the country, and that was pretty novel for Jennifer to be like, "Let me ask you about your festival experience." I was like, wow. And I remember after years of traveling all over the world saying, "Actually, please don't change anything, because there is no festival we have ever been to anywhere around the world that has the level of integration, of creativity, of education, of art, of leadership, of folklore." So I would never say that. No one could talk me into saying that at any other stage. We don't get this gig at other stages where we'd say, "Oh, you're the very best festival." This is the very best festival.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And I really will, I'll just say for 1 minute, what you have here that you don't have in so many other incredible events. I mean, to produce an event and to produce a festival is no small undertaking, so that's not to undermine a lot of the work that's gone on all over the place to try and create events. But what you have here is you have regional folklore, and you have international arts, you have education, you have global outreach, you have arts and crafts and hide tanning and spoon carving and welding, and you also have American morning gospel hour and Irish and Appalachian dance circles, and you just don't see that. And kids hip hop, which is rocking the stage right now. You just don't have that vastness of cultural integrity and global integrity, regional and worldly, with education to boot.
So one of the reasons I wanted to ask you that question was because I was hoping that you would answer for all of us. So you didn't just answer for yourself, but you answered for everybody in this room. As a collective answer, and you know very well that it rose up from that young child in the guitar case. Should we turn to Lauren and ask some questions?